Hello, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube channel for Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. It's my pleasure to be here. If you can hear me, VV Nation, let me know by typing VV Nation in the room to let me know that I'm coming across loud and clear. If not, then I may not be loud and I may not be clear, and that would be bad. But in order to make sure that I stay loud and clear, I got my producer side saddle with me, Joey. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
He's the guy that does everything in the background. He helps me to look good. I look so good. He doesn't have so much work that he has to do because, listen, it's me. All right, so glad that you're all here. The people who are responding, and I appreciate it to let me know that everything is going across loud and clear. Today, we do have a special guest. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I just want to let all the people who are brand new here, if you haven't already, if you're your first time here and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. If your subscribe button is red, that means you haven't subscribed yet. If you like the content, by all means, please subscribe to the channel and comment and let us know what what you're thinking and all that kind of stuff. I want to hear what you've got to say. And of course, hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get today. And last but not least, please share this content amongst yourselves on your social circle as well. So talking about subscribing to the channel and liking the channel and all of that, I want to say this. Thanks to you guys, we had to now open up another channel. We have a new streaming channel that will kick off next week. So things like Trending Thursday, the Hot Stock panel, and a lot of the webcasts that we do in the software that stream will now be on our streaming channel. And I want to say a good thank you to all of you for growing our channel the way that we have. Thank you so much. And that just leaves more work for Joey. That's pretty much right, Joey?
Subscribe to the channel by using the link.
And you can subscribe to the channel by using the link that's pinned at the top of the chat. We need you guys to subscribe to that channel. We got to grow that channel too. All right, so if you see that link at the top that's pinned at the top, please click on it. That's going to be our streaming channel. Subscribe to it. You will then be subscribed to the both of them. After you've subscribed, I'm going to get some interaction here. After you've subscribed, type subscribed in the room. If you've subscribed to this new streaming channel, type subscribed in the room. Let me know that you are subscribing to the new channel. All right. So we do appreciate that. But that's because of you guys that we are growing. And no, Brandon says, Glenn 2024. I'm not running. The only way I'm running is if my guest runs with me as my vice president. That's the only way. So you don't know who my guest is yet. You don't know who my guest is yet, but you guys are going to be in for a treat. All right, what do we do here? We talk about stocks that are making the news and what's trending in the market. So we're going to always start off by looking at what's going on in the market as a whole, because what moves markets? Earnings. Earnings, as long as earnings are moving, we're going to be into the positive side. We're going to be in a bull market. We're going to be in a bull market. So just keep that in mind. And I've done a couple of videos that have talked about the market crash or potential market crash and how to get prepared for the market. We're going to have another video coming out today on this channel about how to deal with the market if it continues to go down. But there's three things that move markets globally: earnings, interest, and inflation. We know that interest rates are still at historic lows. The Fed says it's going to keep it there. That's making the economy hot. The economy is running hot. The other two things that move markets are inflation and interest and inflation. Interest rates are low. Inflation is running. If the market is running hot, inflation is running. That means people are paying more money for stuff. And that's a good way. At some point in time, you got to slow that down. And the best way the Fed can do it is by way of raising the interest rates. But they've already committed that they're not going to do it for a minute. So we'll keep my eyes on that. Let's talk about inflation. Let's get into my first story for the market today. Consumer prices jump as economic recovery picked up. Index rose 4.2% from a year earlier, the biggest 12-month increase since the summer of 2008. What happened in 2008? Oh yeah, we had the housing bubble, baby. You got to say it like that, like Bootsy Collins. We had the housing bubble, baby, and consumer prices jumped up as the market had been jacked up because of the housing bubble. So consumer prices rising. The Treasury Secretary Yellen doesn't anticipate inflation being a problem. I was watching Talking Heads this week. Neil Kashkari, one of the Fed chiefs, said that the Fed has tools to overcome inflation. I ain't seen no tool yet. All right, inflation is still high on everybody's list. I haven't seen any tool yet. And then when you're looking at the people are spending money, the other side of it is jobs. All right, what does a labor shortage mean for unemployment benefits? People are still getting paid more money on unemployment, and it's keeping the people from coming back to work. And a lot of companies right now are sitting back and going, dude, I need some peeps. And the peeps are like, dude, I'm making money. And that's a problem. So we'll keep that in mind in regards to labor working. So we already talked about interest rates. We're now talking about inflation. These are the things that the Fed has control over to try to make sure that we stay in a good market or a good economy. All right, let's get into the software. Let's take a look at it. Here's the home page. As we look at our color guard, a lot of red in there. The market is falling. Today we get a little bounce in the market. I don't know if it's a dead cat bounce or if the market is still ready to move up a little higher. I still think that I gave a video looking at FactSet data. Out of the 88% of the companies that have reported, 86% of the companies have beat earnings. 76% of them have beat revenue. So that still keeps us bolstered to an upside in the market. But our market timing indicators, the primary wave, the DEW, the confirmed call are all down. I don't know, again, if today is a dead cat bounce, but we'll take a look. So all of the major indices are recovering from the last couple of days of the market moving down. Dead cat bounce, but with real cats? No, John. John, you really want real cats to bounce? That's so inhumane. You can't say that. Sigh, Joey. Sigh. All right. So all of the major indices are recovering today. Let's go look at my watch list of stocks. All right. In that watch list, I always look at two indicators for the market. If you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest program, we look at the S&P 500. If you are a subscriber to the VectorVest software, we look at the VVC or VectorVest Composite. What's today? 5/13/21. There we go. Here's my list of stocks that we'll be looking at today. We've only got 11, all right, because I do have a guest today, so we're not doing as many stocks. Do have 11. Here is the spiders. And here's the VVC. Remember, the VectorVest Composite tracks the movement of about 8,700 stocks. The Spider tracks the movement of about 500 stocks. Not about, but 500 stocks. As I take a look at them in my graph, this is the market. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. This is the market. Here's those 3 days, 2 days or so. Oh, wait a minute. How come they don't see that? How do they see that? What did I do, Joey? There we go.
You broke it.
I broke it. There we go. Here's the market. The VVC, the movement of over 8,700 stocks. Here's the pullback. Here's the little bit of a bounce today, but I want you to take a look at the wick at the top of the candle today. There's a lot of selling pressure on today's candle. There's a lot of selling pressure on today's candle. We did break through 2 levels of support on the VectorVest Composite. Right now, we got something called a bullish harami, candlestick pattern, but this concerns me, the big wick at the top of the candle, which is showing some selling pressure. On top of that, here's the spiders. On the other hand, though, the indicator that tracks the movement of 500 stocks looks a little different. It's right at a level of resistance, which was a former level of support sitting at 411.13. The stock was in an uptrend, or the indice wasn't in an uptrend with the most recent activity. It broke through the uptrend, trying to rebound today. The wick on the top of the spiders, though, is not nearly as big as the wick that was on top of the VectorVest Composite. All right, so the market's trying to rebound. I don't know if it's got the wherewithal to really start running back up. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking at 3 and 8 exponential moving averages on both the spiders and the VVC. If the market's going to still have some move to the upside, I need those two to cross back bullish. All right, so that's where we stand as far as the market is considered. Kellen says that the video, somebody said, no, Herbert says the video is not clear.
5 minutes ago.
It was about 5 minutes. Did you answer him?
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, I was deep into this. Don't be messing with me. You know what happens when you mess with me, right? All right, don't be messing with me.
We're worried.
You should be worried. All right, anybody have any questions on the market timing before I move on? All right, I'm looking at the chat, Not seeing the charts, says VJ. Now, you are seeing the charts now. You should all be seeing the charts now. And you're right, Drew. That is a lot of wick on the VVC. That is a lot of wick on the VVC. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. Hopefully, if nothing else, this is at least giving you some semblance as to what the graphs look like and what's going on in the market with inflation, looking for the Fed to do something about it if they said that they can. Interest rates are still low. Jobs, less people are applying, but there's a lot of jobs out there for a lot of people as well. All right. So now, bring back this picture real quick. I've got a special guest today. He's a good friend of mine here at VectorVest. We banter back and forth in our education wing every day.
Does he feel the same way?
He does. He loves me to death. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring him up here so that you can see him. Unmute you. Okay, so now what we're doing is we have Jim Penna, the manager of retirement services, and he's going to talk a little bit about one of the most basic option plays that you can play in the market called the covered call. He's got a webcast coming up next week that he's going to invite you to, but he's going to talk a little bit more about what he does, the webcast that's coming up, and the course that's going to follow that as well. He's going to get deeper into that next week. So, Jim, take it away, buddy. And by the way, before you get started, tell everybody in VV Nation how much you love me like a brother. You have to say that.
Like a brother, Glenn.
There you go.
Love you like a brother. Glenn, thank you for having me on, and thank you all for taking the time to be here today and letting me take a few minutes here in Trending Thursday. It's always an honor. As Glenn said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about covered calls and invite you, first of all, next week on Wednesday, I believe it's noon, and then Thursday, 2 o'clock, and again on 4:30, I'll be doing a special webcast on the power of covered calls. It is titled, and I hope to show, especially those who may be new to covered calls, it is a great tool in our retirement arsenal that we use every Tuesday in the retirement coaching group to help to build and have a nice, safe, steady income in our retirement portfolio. So even with the market the way it is, we have one position in there now. We had a great year last year. We're still doing pretty well on our round trip trades so far this year, with just Micron still in the portfolio. It's the only one in the portfolio. So we do a trade every week. And again, the objective is simply to generate a safe, steady income. Last year, I can tell you, we had 77% winning trades with about 25% annualized rate of return. And we're hoping to match that this year. So we're looking forward to that. So next week, I'm going to, and it looks like Joey put the link to the page to get up there. You can register, and I'm going to talk about the power of covered calls, introduce those who may be new to options. One of the things I found, Glenn, is when I talk about options in retirement, for the folks who aren't familiar with options, sometimes they'll get very nervous.
And that happens every time, I know.
Yeah, it really is at the core of what I want to convey here, and what I'm always trying to convey is that for your retirement account, I say retirement account, but in your more prudent, retirement account, because there is capital appreciation to be had as well, that to understand, to me, there are actually two basic option trades that if you're managing your net worth, your retirement nest egg, that you need to know. And one of them is the covered call. And the other one is understanding the strategic times to place a protective put on your positions or on your overall portfolio. Now, what I'm going to focus on next week is a little different. It's going to be all about generating that safe, steady income using the covered call as a buy right. The buy right is specifically buying the stock and selling the covered call simultaneously, understanding that the main objective is to generate a safe, steady income. And we've got very specific management techniques that we put on them. But really, again, to go back to my point, for folks who are nervous about options, who are, well, I don't know how to trade options, so there's no way I'm touching that. The covered call is the most basic option trade there is. It is the most popular option income trade that there is. And it's so safe that I remember when I took my Series 7 test back in, I think it was 1992, at that time, the only option trade you can do in an IRA was a covered call, because placing a covered call adds absolutely no risk to any positions you already have, because you can own a stock. And if you already own the stock, then your risk is inherent in the fact that you own the stock, not because you sold the covered call. And in fact, it lowers your risk because it lowers your cost basis and thereby your capital exposure. So there's a lot of great reasons to sell covered calls. There are more strategies than just income. So the great thing about understanding the buy right to generate income is to get a foundation of the other, we always say that the versatility and flexibility of options is endless. And so understanding the covered call, number one, as a way to generate income, or the buy right, which is what we'll focus on. But you can also use the covered call as a way to become defensive in your portfolio in a toppy market. You see a red light or two in the price column. Great time to go out, sell a covered call against some positions that you own, lowers your cost basis. If you believe the market is going to move sideways or down a bit, right? For a nervous market, it's a great way to, again, generate income, lower your cost basis. And there's so many reasons to understand and want to implement the covered call in your portfolio. And I'm hoping next week that I'm able to build that foundation for you and show you how and why the covered call is so important.
Well, that was a great way of just showing people or just telling people about the power of the covered call. Jay said, put a good thing out there. You don't have to know how to trade. Jay, you don't know how to type. You don't have to know how to trade options to do a covered call. Jay, sit back, take a deep breath before you start typing, because you got me all bundled up here. I'm trying to read what he said.
Yeah, Jay is right. I know what he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying that you don't need to be an options expert. You don't have to have a PhD in options trading to understand the concept of a covered call. If you know how to buy a stock, then you'll understand the basics of the objective and the anatomy of what a covered call is. And so, again, for those who may feel that you need this advanced option background, we're gonna show you different.
There you go. And I think that that's important. So I don't want people get turned off. And Jim was right. Don't get turned off just because you hear about options. This may be your foray in better understanding options as well. Question is, I got two other things to talk to about. How do we sign up? And there's a link at the top. Nope. Joey's going to put a link in there. Joey put a link in there for you in regards to signing up for the course. Or signing up for the webcast. This is for a webcast that Jim is doing next week. All right, so signing up for the webcast, Joey's put a link in there. And will you teach how to add insurance to our covered call trades also? Adding a put, then making a covered call into a collar trade.
Yeah, in the webcast, it's not really going to be part of the webcast, but I certainly can take time, because we're going to have a nice Q&A afterwards, and usually that question will come up. So I would say probably at some point in the Q&A, I'd be happy to show you exactly what, as I'm not sure who wrote that, but it's called a collar trade, where you sell a covered call and use that money and put it towards a put option as insurance on a position. So really all it is at the end of the day is a low cost insurance policy. So you're paying a lot less to insure a position or your portfolio, but you do have to own the underlying stock, sell a call option, take that premium, put it towards your put option, and you sleep better at night knowing that your either portfolio or an individual position is protected.
The John question I'll take when I get past Jim. I have one more. Mike N says, heard someone say this morning that as stocks drop and VIX increases, They buy a stock, sell calls because of the volatility, and make great returns. Can you clarify how that works?
Yeah, I mean, the idea, I mean, if the market is moving down, and again, there's so many different strategies that can be used. If the market's moving down, I'm never going to advocate buying a stock that's going down in a downtrending market.
I agree.
Right. So just that's the first thing I want to make clear. However, good quality stocks that have taken a beating, and I'll use Micron Technology as an example again. We own 200 shares, certainly, at a bit of a higher price. We sold some calls, lowered that cost basis, and we went back out and sold some more calls against it, and we'll keep doing that. But as a strategy, I want to be sure that I'm confident in the quality of the underlying stock, and that the covered calls that I'm selling are generating enough income. We have specific numbers that we try to reach, right? So we're never going to sell the short-term weeklies for small change.
Pennies.
We're looking at monthly returns. And the idea, and I think maybe the point of what you were saying, is implied volatility rises, which means option premiums rise.
Right.
And that it's better to sell the overpriced option, which generally speaking is absolutely correct. But don't forget, the buy right that we're talking about is a more prudent / conservative trade. It is a bullish trade because we're owning a stock. And so I've got to have confidence in the underlying stock. I have to have confidence in the overall market, that it's moving up. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's a great question, and it just lends to the fact that there's so many different strategies behind trading covered calls. But I will say this: I don't need an overpriced stock, or an overpriced option, I should say,
to
sell a covered call.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, generally speaking, high implied volatility for an option seller is ideal. But high volatility can work against you the same way it can work in your favor. So in other words, a stock can move against you sharply just as easy as it can move in your favor sharply. So it's all about the process and the technique of managing the trade. But good question. Just make sure it's a bullish trade. Make sure you're comfortable with the underlying and the overall market bias.
There you go. And for that, Jim, thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us. That webcast, as Joey has put the link in there, is for next week. By all means, please sign up for it. You'll learn something. And from a general options play, it's a great way to generate income. There's nobody out here that's in this room that doesn't want to generate income. Just think about that. And
Glenn, one more point. If so, last year we did 25%. We don't guarantee 25% every year, but 15 to 25% return on this very basic once a week, if the market allows trade. And so I just always have to be sure, because I get a lot of emails and chats, types in the chat box. If you think 15, 16, 18% isn't a good enough annualized rate of return for doing one trade maybe a week, give me a call.
Give me a call when you call him.
We need to talk.
Heck yeah.
But I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Glenn, and thanks everyone for having me. Thank you.
You got it, man. Thank you, Jim.
Take care.
All right, so that was my special guest for today. I think that from the perspective of wanting to learn more about options, I wanted to have him on, and I want to promote that webcast. That webcast is a free webcast. Everybody here can go to it. The link is in the chat for you to go and sign up for the webcast. Not selling you anything right there, folks. It is just a webcast talking a little bit more about the covered call process. And there is a process behind it, and we're going to teach you how to do that. All right, I've got a question that I'm trying to get to. Can I use the mouse now? All right. There's a question that was typed up in here. Where was it? It was John. Excuse me. John says, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Dr. D always say he would sell covered calls on the stocks he would buy? Yeah, but the covered call means he already owns the stock. Now, there's a difference between selling a covered call on a stock and selling a call or selling a naked call. If I sold a naked call and it goes against me, and it goes against me, I have to buy the stock. Then I would sell naked on a stock that I wouldn't mind owning. So there's a difference between the covered call and selling naked, John. I could sell naked on a stock that I wouldn't mind owning long term. All right, so that's the difference between the two. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so again, thank you, Jim, for being here. Oh, he's already gone. And we're going to get back into Trending Thursday. You sell calls naked. Well, I mean, and if you do, if you're going to sell calls naked, you better know what you're doing. All right. And on the buy right, John, in order to have the buy right, you already own the stock. You're selling the call against it. The worst thing that could happen to you is it can get called away. It could get called away. All right, so that's what Jim was talking about, the buy right, owning the stock and selling the call against it. All right, so let's get into our next story. All right, and again, I need to talk about what's hot, and this is something that you guys wanted to talk about last week, steel. All right, Morgan Stanley upgrades U.S. steel with steel prices near all-time highs. Why is steel up so much? There's a lot of building. There's a lot of infrastructure out there. It hasn't been put. I don't think it's been voted on yet, or is it? No, the infrastructure bill is out there. They need to start putting the money to where it needs to go. But Morgan Stanley upgrades U.S. steel with steel prices near all-time highs. A lot of that has to deal with the infrastructure process. All right. And another steel story, steel prices surge fueled by demand. Well, if there's infrastructure, there's going to be a demand for steel, not tariffs. And that was Cleveland-Cliffs CEO Goncalves. Goncalves, is that right? Mm-hmm. All right. Why am I asking you? Okay. Joey's like, why are you asking me? Anyway, there's a lot to the story, but I just wanted to give another reason why steel is rising. It is by demand because people are going to be building, and there's going to be a whole lot of building going on. Blue Horseshoe loves NUGT steel. That is somebody who's on our Facebook. Blue Horseshoe is a worldwide name on our Facebook. Blue Horseshoe. NUGT steel. What's the ticker symbol for that? I'll look at that. I've got some steel up here, but if I can get the ticker symbol for NUGT steel, I'll put that in my list. All right, so those are my two stories behind steel. Let's go use the VectorVest software to analyze the steel. Where's my watch list? There we go. Somebody will put the ticker symbol for NUGT steel. All right, love Wall Street. Vector, can you tell us what your thoughts are on what is practical usage of, I don't know, Lord Thomas, you got me say something wrong. Got me all, I don't know what that is. I ain't gonna touch that. I am so not touching that. Good gravy. All right, so I've got some steel stocks in here. Man, you almost got me banned. He almost got me banned, big time. I almost got myself banned. Here's some steel stocks. Now notice I've got 11 stocks that are in my watch list today. The watch list is automatically sorted, so the stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing will be at the top of the list. With steel being such a hot industry, notice that the two top stocks in my watch list are Timken Steel and Nucor. All right, I also have an index for steel, VanEck Steel, SLX, and I have US Steel. Those are my four ticker symbols that I'm utilizing for Those are my four ticker symbols that I'm utilizing for steel. Let's take a look at them. All right, so we've got the news behind it. It is a lot of demand that's working along with steel. Let's go to the 3-month graph. Wow, look at TMST. That's a beautiful looking equity curve. Bottom left, top right. I'm going to take off the trading mechanism of the 3 and the 8, and I'm going to put on the 20 exponential. Look at that. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's change the style. Let me make that line a little darker for you. Look at that. That's a 20-day exponential moving average on the ticker symbol. That is a thing of beauty. If you're not in the stock, you should definitely think about it. Even if the market tends to go down, this is an industry that is so hot. This will be one of the few times that I'll ever tell you to look into a stock that's going against the market. All right. Look at the high. The high sitting here at 1550. I would probably put in a buy order higher than the high by 5 cents to make sure I'm buying in as the stock is moving. But that is a beautiful looking equity curve. Relative timing. Let's go take off relative timing for a second. Let's put on volume. Volume has been pretty, all right, but a lot of volume, 42. Oh, the reason why it looks so small is because of this big bar here. All right, I'm sitting here, I'm like, why is the bar so small? But that's because of this big bar here. I love the equity curve. Next one, Nucor. Wow, that's another good one. Folks, the industry is hot. The stocks that we're looking at are hot. Look at that 20-day exponential moving average. The stock fell below it once in 3 months and rebounded and came back. If you're not in it, I would go 12 cents higher than the high, only because the stock is now over $20. The high is 103.98. I'd go 12 cents higher than that. What else is in here? SLX, a good ETF looking at steel. Same kind of scenario. 20-day exponential moving average just went down a little bit once, but stayed nicely above it. Pulling back now. Notice that all of these pullbacks, I'm saying that you need to think about getting into them higher than the high. And the last one is steel. A little bit more volatile than the other three, but nonetheless moving from the bottom left to the top right. Okay. But a little bit more volatile in the moves. If you're looking for something a little bit more stable, I like TMST. I like Nucor. I even like SLX. All three of those look a lot better as far as a volatility standpoint. U.S. Steel is a little bit more volatile, but is moving higher nonetheless. All right. Anybody have any questions in regards to the steel story? And again, this was something that you guys wanted to see last week. I told you I would do the best that I could, and I am presenting to you your steel story. Anybody have any questions about it? All right. Anybody have any questions about it? Anybody thoughts on its priority? Thomas really almost got me in trouble. All right. 3, 2, 1. How is MT market timing for, when you say MT for steel, I'm not understanding what you're asking me. I'm showing you 3-month graphs on not only stocks, but ETFs. If you're asking what's the market timing on it, this is an ETF. It's moving up. That's a stock. I'm not sure what you're asking me. I'm not sure. This is what the industry looks like by way of an ETF. All right. Let's get to my next story. Boom, boom, boom. Next story. Another story that you wanted me to handle was gold and copper. So let's talk about gold. This was as of yesterday. Gold prices dropped sharply, then recover following a surge in the CPI data. All right, so we're talking about inflation. Inflation is going to affect gold and probably most likely adversely. All right, so actually, if inflation's up, people should be running to gold. All right, so we're going to keep our eyes on gold, but gold prices drop here. Next one, gold up marginally in a hot producer price report. Today's top gold opinion. I go all over the internet to find you all of the stories that I can in regards to gold. All right, let's do this. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's go look at my 2 stocks that I have for gold are going to be NUGT and gold. Notice where they sit in my list. Amongst the top 5 out of 11 sorted by our master indicator VST. One is an ETF, that's NUGT, and the other one is a stock, Barrick Gold, which really moves along with gold. Let's go take a look at both of these. Okay, and there's NUGT. Now, gold was on a run. It started running. All right, bouncing off a level of support above my 20-day exponential moving average, then started moving a little bit sideways. What we're looking for, what moves gold? The dollar. As long as the dollar starts to weaken, people are going to run to gold. That paradigm is still almost in place. It's changed a little, but for the most part, I'm still going to say that it is the dollar that moves gold. So that's the ETF, one ETF that looks at gold. And then we got Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold did the same thing, bounced off a level of support, now sitting in a channel, currently above the 20-day exponential moving average, but it's got a lot of headwinds to go through. It's got a level of support or level of resistance here at 20. Up, just turned to a level of resistance. Wow, look at that jump just as we're sitting here. Woo, Barrett Gold. What did y'all do? Did y'all just look at this and all buy it? You see that big jump up? Holy smokes. So now that's a level of support sitting at 23.57. This is what I'm looking at right now on Barrett Gold. I'm looking for a pop above this level of 23.59. Once it gets above that level, staying above that 20-day exponential moving average, it's got a good run up to at least 23.65. All right, that's not a lot. That's not a lot, but, oh, hold on. That's why. There we go. All right, that's a 3-month graph. Bouncing off, changes my story a lot. Bouncing off a level of support, sitting at 23.10. All right, bouncing off a level of support, sitting at 23.10. It's got a high, most recent high of 24.44. If it can get above that, I've got a profit target sitting at about 24.95. That's the most recent high over the last 5 or 6 months. All right, so gold is on the rise as long as it stays above that 20-day exponential moving average and is moving up. Notice that from a few days ago, it's trending lower. Let it get out of its own way before I start buying into it. Now, if I own gold and I'm above that 20-day exponential moving average, I'm okay. If I'm not in it, let it get above that high to get to my next level of a high. Anybody have any questions on the gold story? Now, I'm going to couple this, if there's no questions. Is there an index we can see that shows us if the dollar is weakening? Yeah. Let me show you that real quick. I've got one for UUP and UDM that looks at the dollar, whether it's bullish or bearish. Here is UUP, that's for the bullish dollar, and that's for the bearish dollar. So I can watch as the dollar is going higher or lower. Let's go to UUP. Let's view that. I don't need to look at them both. We'll go to UUP, put this on 3-month graph. Oh, look at that. The dollar is starting to get strong again. It was pulling down. And you know, as the dollar pulls down, gold started going up. You saw that bounce coming off support on my 2 ticker symbols for gold. All right. The dollar's falling, but now look at the most recent rise on the dollar. That's going to affect dollar to the adverse side. So who asked me that question about that? Bill C, does that help you? As you see the dollar go up, that's going to affect gold to the downside. As you see the dollar go down, that's going to help gold bounce back up. All right, does that make sense, Bill? Hopefully it does. Bill, not only to Bill, but to everybody else in the room in regards to tracking the dollar as compared to gold. All right, so I was getting ready to do something. Oh, not only were we doing gold, but we were going to do copper. All right. Let's go over to the copper. Interesting story. Copper is the new oil. Ooh, what's going on with oil? Oil is going up because demand is increasing. Copper is going to go up because why? The demand is increasing. And low inventories will increase demand. Could push it to the 20,000 per ton, analyst says. Keep your eye on copper. I know FCX is one way to go. I've got CPER. Nickel, I'm not going to, nobody ever talks much about nickel, but Vinay, I'm going to tell you that we could probably analyze it. I'm thinking we can. I just need a ticker symbol for it. I'm not going to do it today. But I will do gold and I will do copper. And I like this headline. Copper is the new oil, which means that copper is going up because of demand. Copper is going up because of demand. I think demand for Cafe Bustelo will outpace demand for gold and copper. Listen, I'm drinking my Cafe Bustelo right here. That's why I was almost late, because I got to drink that. And I'm drinking it in my VectorVest cup. We going to give away a cup today, Joey? Joey says no. You can purchase one below the video. You can purchase one. And someone said I need to stop slurping my coffee. Okay, I didn't slurp it that time. What? Oh, Joey said good job. Proud of me. All right, so apparently nickel is also important in the electrical industry, and Vinay, that's fine. I just haven't had a demand to talk about it, and I don't even think that there's a demand to talk about it even in the news. Remember, Trending Thursday is all about what's trending in the new. So I am not disagreeing with you, Vinay. I'm just probably not going to place it into here. No, I'm not saying that either. Holy smokes. Why is everybody trolling me today? Holy smokes. I'm getting trolled big time. Sigh. All right. So with that, let's go take a look at copper. And there is another stock that I can put in here, FCX. All right. And I will look at two. So my two that I'm going to look at, FCX. When I put FCX in there, look at where that sits. Whew. Number 3 in the list. My other one that I was going to look at is copper, U.S. Copper Fund, CPR. Let's go analyze those real quick so we know the news behind them. Copper is in demand. Copper is in demand because building is in demand. Building is in demand because there's a stimulus package for infrastructure. Now, interesting that copper, bottom left, top right, a little bit of a channeling formation here, falling back for the last couple of days, but still clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average, and RT is still above the value of 1. All right. Put that as area. Let's take off volume and then put it back on. Whoops, I'll leave it on there. All right, watch it. If you're in copper, I still like it. Just keep your eye from a technical standpoint. If it falls below the 20-day exponential moving average, I would consider getting out of it. Herbert says, what about Freeport Copper? It's one that we can use. It's an indicator or a ticker symbol that we can use to take a look at copper. My one that I had was CPER, U.S. Copper Fund, ETF. And this one is a stock, and CPER is an index or an ETF. Bottom left, top right. What I don't like about this is the gappiness about it, because as quickly as it can gap up is as quickly as it can gap down. But technically moving from the bottom left to the top right, rising volume, RT is above 1, starting to fall a little bit, but still above the 20-day exponential moving average. I like it. There is an ETF. There's another one, COPX, COPX. There it is. There's another one. And it looks a lot like CPER. Put them both side by side. As a matter of fact, let's do that. Show you some power here. Let's put them both side by side. Put this into, where am I? 3 months. This one is already 3 months. Look at that. They almost look alike. All right. What did you do? Oh, okay. They almost look alike. Both of these are indexes that track copper. They look pretty much alike. All right. So you wanted COPX. There's COPX. Here's CPER. Both of them are looking at copper, and they almost look alike, but they're both above the 20-day exponential moving average. COPX is closer to the 20-day exponential moving average than CPER, but nonetheless, they both track copper. All right, they both track copper. All right, any questions? That was another suggestion that came from VV Nation last week in regards to something to look at. All right, so I thank you guys for that. Excellent. And I'm never afraid to talk about what you want to talk about. This is all about for you anyway, right? This is all about for you anyway. Copper tracks metal, COPX tracks the miners, stocks. Interesting, Mohammed, even with that, one tracks the metal and one tracks the miners. It's interesting how they both are aligning pretty much together. You know, think about it. Any individual stocks you're looking at, Jason, I'm going to hold off until the end of the presentation. Any questions on copper? You guys wanted that, and I wanted to make sure that we put that together for you. All right, before we move on, don't forget, please don't forget, we are opening up a new channel. We're growing to the point that we're opening up a new channel specifically for streams like Trending Thursday. Starting next week, Trending Thursday will be on the stream channel. At the top of the page, click on it, subscribe to that channel for us, folks. And as I've been asking, once you've subscribed to the stream channel, type subscribed in the room. Let me know that you subscribed to our stream channel. All right, that's where all of our streams will be going, and that's because we are growing to the point where we need the 2 channels to accommodate what we do. So thank you guys so much for that. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. hit the bell icon and be alerted to when new content comes out. Thank you, Muhammad. I appreciate that. All right, let's close out of this graph. Let's get to my next story. There you go. Thank you guys for subscribing. I really, really do appreciate that. We want that page to grow just like we have here. All right, my next story, I think it's going to be on oil. Man, am I ahead of, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. Look at why you got that face like that. Yeah, I am. And my last story today, no, I got the next to last one. I do have, somebody gave me a super chat last week about Doge Father. Who was that? Are you in the room? Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, folks. Someone gave me a super chat, which means that they paid to catch my attention. Someone gave me a super chat last week about Doge Father. Are you here? Man, you paid for it, and now I'm trying to show it to you. No, all right, we'll go with the oil. If the person that did the super chat, if you're here, let me know. If not, I'm still going to show it anyway. But let's go to oil. Let's go to oil. All right. How many people got caught out there, got caught with the pants down, not being able to get gas last week? Anybody? Gas this week? Type of me in the room. How many of you got caught out there? Because the hackers hacked into a gas line. How many of you got caught out there? I wasn't. I was good. That's why I keep my excursion full all the time. I keep my excursion in the Colonial Pop Lane. That's why I keep my excursion filled all the time. And then I also drive a Passat. I was good. I was good. I'm just wondering how many of you got caught out there. That was nasty. That was a nasty thing that happened. And, you know, I found out today we paid them the $5 million for the ransomware. We paid them $5 million. You said your F-150 gets 36-gallon tank is full. Oh, how about you said you got 36 gallons, 36 miles to the gallon? I'm about to say, I need to get your F-150. Yeah, my excursion is filled up. And for all the people who are still subscribing to the channel, to the stream channel, thank you so much. Is it over? Why did we pay them? Now it will happen more. Sandy, I don't disagree with you. I think we, you know, from the standpoint of it's going to be one of two things. We were going to either catch them and beat them up, or they were going to hold the ransom over us for an extended amount of time. Which would you rather have? Now, I'm all about we shouldn't negotiate with people who do bad things to us. I'm with you on that. I'm a Marine. I'm with you on that 110%. But when you're going to cause issues and a panic in two state governors putting in state of emergencies because of the lack of gas, what are you going to do? All right, what are you going to do? I put that question. It's easy for us to sit on this side and say, yeah, we're not going to pay them. But when you had the Southeast shut down, you had Charlotte shut down because people couldn't buy gas. What are you going to do? All right, so I'm putting that out there. You guys can discuss that amongst yourselves. I'm all about making sure that we don't negotiate with people who are doing bad things to us. But then I also want to look at the better good of the country. Do we say, well, we're not going to pay that, and then people are running around not being able to get gas? So I don't know who paid it, Kellen. I'm assuming that Colonial did. All right, I don't think the American people paid it. I don't think, our tax dollars paid it. I believe Colonial did it. Colonial did it. Hoarders caused the gas shortage? People was running out of gas because people was trying to get gas. I don't think it was hoarders, not in the least bit. Colonial did pay it? Yeah, Joey just confirmed Colonial did pay it. And I don't think it had anything to do with hoarders. Eastern European hackers. They were in Russia. It was said in a news conference that it wasn't the Russians, air quotes, that it wasn't the Russians, but the people who did it were in Russia. And did they really? They paid it with crypto. Wow, so Colonial paid it in crypto. Wow, very interesting. Crypto was not liked because people thought that it could be used for people doing bad things, right? Because you can't track it. Interesting as the story develops. So Colonial paid it, and they paid it with $5 million in crypto. Really? Colonial Pipeline should have had better firewalls. John, I don't disagree with that. I mean, it's easy to say that now. It's easy to say that now, but I bet you everybody and their mama is out there shoring up their firewalls right now. Israel wouldn't be under attack. Scott, I'm not doing politics in here. Man. That's not what we're going to do. All right? And I respect everybody's opinion, but we're not going to do politics in here, my friend. All right? And in the meantime, GBTC is down 13%. So Bitcoin is down. Interesting that they paid for it with Bitcoin.
Say Bitcoin.
With crypto, what the flying flip? It could be any. All right. A lot of times I don't take you seriously. Okay. Another story. Oil accelerates plunge with inflation pressure. So not only is oil going up because of demand, but oil is going up because prices are going higher. All right. So, there's a lot going on behind oil. Let's do this. Let's go look. I don't want that one. Let's close that. Let's go look at oil. What did I have for oil? Let's go find out. For oil, I've got UCO, which is an ETF looking at oil. What else did I have? I had W&T offshore. I've got that, WTI. Let's go look at my two. Notice that these are towards the bottom of my 14 stocks in my watch list. It tells you something. Oil may be on the rise, but look at where it sits by our master indicator, VST. WT offshore has got a VST below 1, where UCO, which is an ETF that tracks oil, got an RT, a VST of 1.11. Let's go take a look at these stocks. All right, well, remember, one's an ETF. Today is a good day. I'm giving you not only stocks, but ETFs. Look at it, was running, it was going, yee-haw, giddy up, rawhide. Look at the big pop down. Look at the big jump down from yesterday. Is it still above the 20-day exponential moving average? Just barely. But look at the pop down from yesterday. That's on UCO and WTI. Oh, man, it's just, that one is in a little bit of a channeling state. I would put more emphasis on the UCO, bottom left, top right, but big gap down from yesterday to today. Big gap down. What company did Colonial use to fix their IT security? Maybe that's a good stock for us to trade. Bob, I don't know, but I bet you companies like Colonial, major companies that are out there that are susceptible to hacking, I think are putting a big emphasis this week on shoring up their firewalls. Think about it. Not only oil, but water. I don't know if you can, if you attack the electricity grid, the same thing can happen. Any of these things could disrupt life here in America. So I think all of these big utilities better do something to shore up their firewalls. They didn't have a password on their Wi-Fi. What was your password? Password. Hey, dude, what's the password to the Wi-Fi? Password. And I think the hackers got in. All right. WTI is a stock like any other petroleum stock, and not the West. I know it's not the West Texas Intermediate Oil, which is better represented by USO Fund. And you know, Mohammed, I'm all right with that. I use it because it does do a good job of tracking oil. And I'm with you. I'll go put on UCO, and I'll also put on USO. That's another one that I track as far as oil. There's UCO, and then there's USO. There's the both of them. Both of them do a good job of tracking oil. And if you've noticed in many other of my presentations about oil, USO is in there, but I usually utilize WTI. I know it's not the Western Texas Intermediate. I do know that. I know it's a stock. But these two ETFs, UCO, why did I use UCO? Most likely because it's been really rocking and rolling. It's been one of the fastest ETFs moving for oil over the last couple of weeks. So that's why I use UCO. All right, so, and that's fine. And Mohammed, I appreciate all of the insightful information that you're giving. I really do. All right, but nonetheless, the whole idea of what I'm showing is that oil is on the rise. That's the basis of the whole story. All right. Where's my dude from last week? What's his name? Anand's Dota. Oh, I can't. Can you see if he's here? How did you get that? Wow. If Hanan's Dota is not here, I'm not going to do the Doge Father story. All right, he paid me for that. He actually paid me for that as far as a super chat. And if he's here, I'll show it. If he's not here. All right, then I'm not going to do the Doge Father story. All right, and that's fine. Anybody have any questions in regards to the oil? Anybody have, my coffee's right here. I still got it. It's still in there. You see, in my VectorVest cup. I'm not giving one away, but if you want to buy one, look down below the video in our store. You can go and get you a cup. XOM is another one, ExxonMobil. That's a stock. UCO and USO are ETFs, but XOM, like WTI, is a stock. All right, and that's ExxonMobil. Sitting on XOM calls, $55 call, you good. You're good. All right. Anybody else have any questions in regards to oil? Going once, going twice. What about XOM? We're looking at it. Right now, there's the Herbert. There's XOM. That's another stock within this petroleum industry. Right now, sitting at that 20-day exponential moving average. I'd be careful. If you own it, leave it alone. If I don't own it, I do like the bottom left, top right. If I do not own it, I'd look at getting in about 12 cents higher than the high. All right. You got to be confident and give it room, it seems. Right now, yeah. Right now, I'd like to see it take out the most recent highs, whether it's on XOM, whether it's on UCO, take out the high, whether it's on USO, take out the high. If you're in it, though, notice that the stock price is still, or the ETF price is still above the 20-day exponential moving average. I would not get rid of it until it breaks below that. I'd consider get rid of it then. Don't you think oil stocks are short-lived as all supply and demand? Once production picks up, we will food market with oil. Ooh, that's a good question, Bob. What does it need, though? Demand. All right, as long as we don't have an oversupply of oil and we're dipping into our own inventories, demand is going to be high. When did we not have so much demand? When we were drilling out the yin-yang. We're not drilling out the yin-yang anymore. That automatically is going to bump up demand. Does that make sense, Bob? Lauren says, I was bit by UCO's reversal and sold it this morning. Buying a new high as I did yesterday didn't work in that case. So you know something? Lauren, you already knew where you were going to get out of it, and there's nothing wrong with it. That was huge. That's a big pullback. But Lauren, I will say, if you need to give it a little bit more room, let's say you didn't get out of it, I'd be okay because it's still above the 20-day exponential moving average. Selling it today, I totally understand why you sold it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a big drop for anybody. All right, when I'm ready. Okay, thank you. Whose show is this, Joey? It's VectorVest show. Who's the talent for this show, Joey? Well, it wasn't Jim Penna. All right, I want to make sure Russia and Saudi Arabia have a lot of cheap oil for sale. Yeah, they do, and they're the ones. We got a lot of our own oil too. So all I'm saying is that we're dipping into our supplies, and because of that, it's going to increase the demand. All right. So Joey frequently just jumped on board. I wasn't ready for it yet, but Joey is like, it's time for you. No, I'm not listening to you right now. Leave me alone. I'm not listening to you right now. Okay. Let's go put in the stocks that you want me to take a look at. Yes, makes sense, but many older fields can be brought back on after COVID. I have 35 years with Chevron. Bob, Even if that happens, is this administration going to still pursue the drilling? Think about that. All right, just think about that. I'm from Saudi Arabia. Can you talk about VectorVest? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're asking me, Abdullah. That's what I've been doing all day today. All right, let's talk about CVX. If you want more information about VectorVest, you can always go to our website, www.vectorvest.com, to get more information about the VectorVest software, if that's what you're asking. All right, Amazon. Joey is really moving slow today, so I'll do my own looking of the stocks. APPS, comma, U-Haul. It is UHAL, okay. I'm a DHI. That's a good building one. LINDE. Yeah, I don't have LINDE. Whoever put that in there, Cheryl, I don't have that. No. Ooh. Is that your pick? Yeah, that's right. Joey's trying to put it in the stock. I shouldn't have listened to you. NLOC was a big move up today. Big move up today. U-Haul for the swing on earnings. Jason, I got that already in there. Let's go look at NEO. Let's look at LHX. I need another one. I need a Sharon, KSU. Looking for a new name. Oh, man. KSU is already in the list, Sharon. I already got KSU. Who else is in here? Gary, Vig. All right. Who else is new? Fernando. I like that. EL. One more. New. Diana. IMPUY. All right. And I got to give some of the new people some love. All right. If I did not type your stock in here, look in the description. You will see a link to get a free stock analysis. The same analysis I'm getting ready to do here. You can get a free stock analysis by clicking on that link, www.vectorvest.com/free. Also in the description. I always look at a 3-month graph. I'm going to take off the 3 and the 8 and put on the 20-day exponential. I'm going to look at the 20-day exponential, change the style, make it darker so you can see it from a swing trade perspective. CVX, another petroleum, clearly above the 20-day exponential moving average. If you own it, a couple of things happen. It dropped through from that high. It did drop through a level of support sitting at 107.60. That could have been a good reason to get out. If you need it more, to give it a little bit more room, here's the 20-day exponential moving average. It's still above it. That is a saving grace right now. If you're in it, look at the selling pressure on that candle. That goes to show that today was going to probably be lower than it was the day before. RT is falling. Keep your eyes on that. All right, if you're in it, leave it alone. If you're not, I'd wait for the stock to go above that high. Next stock. Wow, Ford is getting beat like a rented mule. Is that what a mule sounds like?
Yeah.
No, a mule sounds like hee-haw, hee-haw. What's the difference between a mule and a donkey? And what's a donkey?
A donkey.
Hold on. All right. So I got my board. I don't use my board nearly as much. Oh, what's the other one that I wanted? I wanted this one. Yeah, that's what that was all about. All right. Anyway, Fords are doing a little bit of sideways mumbo. It's got a level of support sitting at 11.15. It is clearly below the 20-day exponential moving average. It's got some bearishness, being that it's trading below that. Couple of things that I'm looking for if I'm looking to own Ford. 1, it's got to break above this level of resistance at 11.68. 2, it's got to break above another level of resistance sitting at about 12.10. Once it does, it's got some clear sailing up to about 13.62, but the stock is sitting in a sideways channel and below the 20-day exponential moving average. RT is below 1. I'm not feeling Ford right now. And if you are saying, no, I'm going to hold me some Ford, then here's your line in the sand sitting at 11.15. If Ford breaks below that, that's probably a good opportunity to pull the trigger and get out. All right, next stock. Woo, the building industry. Look at that. It got smoked, baby, like some bacon. I love me some bacon. 2 big days going down. That hurts. Nice open day today, but if I'm going to start to get back into it, I need the stock first to go back above the 20-day exponential moving average. I'm wondering if that's just a relievement of all of this upwardosity. That's a big drop down below. I'm still saying that building is still heavy. It's still good. Building and steel are the two fastest industries that we got going on right now. A little bit of recovery, but yeah, it really needs to start to get back above that 20-day exponential moving average first. Next one, KSU, another transportation like TPOR. TPOR is an ETF that looks at transportation. KSU is looking at actually transportation rail. Good in Canada. One of the biggest movers in Canada, one of the best stocks in Canada is CNR. What's that company? Somebody in Canada will tell me that. CNR, I believe it is one of the best stocks in the Canadian database. Anybody? I know I got enough Canadians in here that'll tell me that. But transportation rail is moving. Is it Canadian National Railway? Are you saying that? Maybe it is Canadian National Railway. I think Canadian National Railway. There it is. Thank you, Shelley's. All right, that's what it was. Now, interesting about KSU. This catches my attention. Look at this. Gap up. La, 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 la. Gap up. La, 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 la. I'm wondering if it's ready to gap up again. I don't know what's causing these gaps. I don't know if these are option plays, like monthly options or something like that, but this is very interesting how it moves the way that it does. And RT keeps bumping up each time. It may be poised for another bump up again. Something to keep in mind. Nice gap up, move. Nice gap up, move. Could it be ready to do that again? I guess I would have to count these days to see if it's ready for that. All right, this is very interesting. Now everybody is telling me Canadian National Railway. That's one of the best stocks in Canada. All right, but transportation rail, keep your eye on that. It might be ready to pop once again. I'm putting that out there. All right, so whoever gave me that, that's a good pick to at least keep your eye on. Everybody keep your eye on it. All right, CLB, Core Labs. This is a recovery, a retracement stock. It went down, looks like it found the level of a floor. There's your floor, found the level of a floor, bounced off of that. All right, nice little hammer formation there. Bounced off of that, went above the 20-day, still is above, doing a little sideways mambo here with a level of resistance. A level of resistance sitting at 33.60 and a level of support sitting at 31.37. So it's sitting in a channel right now. It broke above that channel a couple of times, but really couldn't sustain staying there. That is a really good level of resistance of 33.60. If it breaks above that, the stock may have some good upside. And I got to a level of about $41. Good profit. Actually, first profit target would be at 36.92. First profit target would be at 36.92. All right, next stock we have on the list, MT ArcelorMittal. Another steel stock. Stock bottom left, top right. Look at that move. Once it broke above the 20-day, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Still above the 20-day. A little bit of indecision today. I got a little bit of a doji cross. Look at the open price at 32.30 to 32.24 to close. The stock's price hasn't made any move today price-wise. Volume is up there, so it's still a lot of volume traded, but the stock's price is not moving. If you own it, leave it alone. If you don't own it, I'd like to look at going higher than the high before I jump on board. Amazon. Ooh-wee. That stock don't look so good right now as I look at that. Look at that fall.
Good googly muggly.
And if you own it, man, that's a whole bunch of stuff. You ain't ringing the cash register. And if you're still in it, you know what LL says? Mama said, knock you out. It might have been knocked out of the stock once the stock's price went below the 20-day exponential moving average. Ooh, it's a tough stock to get in right now. I would leave it alone. I'd wait for the stock to go back above the 20-day exponential moving average. If you own it, ooh, you're right out of a line in the sand sitting at 31.79.11. All right, it's below that too. RT is below. There's a lot of things telling me to wait on Amazon. And if you own it, you got to know. Here's your last line in the sand. If you own it, your last line in the sand is sitting at 30.26.67. That's your last line in the sand. If it goes below that, you actually really, that's a lot of loss, folks. That's a lot of loss right there if you hold it all the way down there. Only you can make that decision, though. All right, let's go to the next stock. AMD, chip shortage, falling. I bet you AMD is like that. Micron is like that. All of the stocks that are in this space are getting hurt by the chip shortage. So I'm not telling you it's okay to buy it. The stock went below a line in the sand at 78.22. Yeah, there's nothing good about it right now. And if you're holding it and you're waiting, you say, well, it's going to come back. Man, okay. That's all I got to say about that. Tesla, man, Tesla's getting smoked too. I would love to buy VectorVest shirts similar to the one that Glenn is proudly wearing today. Are we going to ever put shirts like this on sale? Joey keeps saying, yeah, he doesn't know when. I love this shirt. I asked the company to get me a couple of shirts. I've got 4 VectorVest shirts specifically for you guys. I dress up for you guys. Right, Joey? Yeah, I dress up for you guys with these shirts. I love these shirts. And I think we're going to give an opportunity for people to buy the shirts. All right. KSU got purchased by Canadian Pacific for $25 billion in cash and stock in massive railway merger in March 21 of 2021. All right, cool beans. Thank you for that, Jeffrey. A few. All right. Will you leave me alone? All right. Whatever. Apps, a great growth stock that right now the market is rotating into value stocks. A lot of growth stocks are getting beaten up right now. Does that mean that they won't rebound? No, I'm not saying that. But right now, what's taking precedent in the market, and I did a video on it just recently, showing you that money is migrating or rotating from growth stocks into value stocks. This is a growth stock that's getting beat up, and a lot of growth stocks are. U-Haul. Was this an earnings play? No, it wasn't, but it was talked to. Somebody really wanted me to look at it. It's sitting in a channel. Big drop down yesterday. Nice rebound today, back above the 20-day exponential moving average. But the stock is in a channel with a level of support sitting at 565.55 and a level of resistance at 657. It's about a $10 channel, $10, $12 channel. It's tough to make money unless you're going to play the retracements off of support and resistance. But you notice the stock's price is staying pretty much in the middle of the channel, really not bouncing off support or resistance. Be careful with that. If you own it, leave it alone. It is not, that's your line in the sand, 565.55 if you want to give the stock more room. But I'd really like to see the stock take out the high. It did do a nice run early in the 3-month move, but now it's just leveled out. Next one. You would think that U-Haul would be going up with a lot of people moving and buying homes and moving into homes. You would think that U-Haul would be going up, but for some reason it's not. Home builders, I still think is hot right now. Big fall yesterday, nice rebound today. Would really like to see it go back above the 20-day exponential moving average. Hill, this is a stock I gave Joey a long time ago. Are you still holding it? Why? All right. Go ahead, Joey. The stock broke through a line in the sand sitting at 264. Joey don't want to listen to his boy. How about earnings just came out and the stock's price is going down? All right, you're going to give all that back, bro. You do what you want to do. I'm just here. You're going to, the stock, no, you listen to Trending Thursday? So does Trending Thursday say it's okay for you to still hold Hill?
I don't know.
What did he, you wasn't watching. Wow. All I'm telling you, bro, be careful. RT just went below 1.2. Stock's now in a downtrend. Just be careful if you own it, like Joey. Nah, listen, I'm not talking to you anymore. Watch NLOC. NLOC has got a parabolic up move. Now, the stock just reported earnings. People must have liked earnings. Watch the parabolic move up, though. That's not sustainable. All right, that's not sustainable, but I think that what happened with Colonial, I think a lot of people are like, yo, I need some help. And that could have pushed them up for the last couple of days. That really could. That really could have pushed them up the last couple of days. Glenn, just saw the portrait of the VV training crew. You look professional. Thank you, Gerald. I do look professional. Yeah, don't Joey, why you make that face? Huh? They're looking at the right picture, and I do look professional. Thank you for that very much, Gerald. I appreciate it. Neo, did we not get to Neo? Neo is probably a stock that's in it. Be careful with NLOC. Parabolic move, not going to be sustainable. Do you want Neo? You want it, Neo? There it is. I've done a couple of videos on Neo. Look at the earnings. Nobody seems to like the earnings. Look at the fall. The stock is falling more and more. That was a good line in the sand, sitting at 34.03. How many of you still? Don't put that out there. I think that EV is the wave of the future. But if Neo's not making money for you now, I'd wait for a better buying opportunity. That's mine. Look at, I had a line in the sand sitting at 41.52 up here. Then it went down, and now, yeah, I'm not feeling Neo right now. I love the space, but the space is getting hurt right now. All right. Be careful with it. If you're still holding it, all right, let me help you guys out. See that 20-day exponential moving out? I'm going to tell you, everybody in here, to put this 20-day exponential moving average on all your stocks. Would you rather get out here when the stock's price was trading at 57.32, or would you rather still be in it? That 20-day exponential moving average from a swing trade basis really does a good job. All right? And I'm not trying to throw a knife at you, KH. I'm just trying to help you out going forward. All right? I'm just trying to help you. And they say that Neo price related to Bitcoin. I can't substantiate that. All right? I can't that battery swap is in China. And somebody says it won't fly in the U.S. I don't know. But that's what's making the move in China is that battery swap. All right. LHX telecom equipment. I like this movement. Earnings, evidently they liked earnings. The stock's price pulled back down to the 20-day, and look at that rebound. Folks, start looking at a 20-day exponential moving average. If you're a trader, I would look at the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average. I like the stock. All right. Next one is VIG, Vanguard Vipers. ETFs, large cap. How many stocks is that type? That's on dividends. This is specifically on dividends. And where did I tell you the money is going? The money is going to more value stocks. What does value stocks have in common? A lot of them pay dividends. This is another factor of rotation. All right, this is another factor of rotation. Look at the big up candle, and RT is above 1. And EL, S-Day Lauder, most recently below the 20-day. I got a line in the sand for you at 279.16. Stock is currently below the 20-day exponential moving average, though. And one more. Wow, IMPUI. I've made a lot of money on this stock in the past. I'm not feeling it right now, though. Below the 20-day exponential moving average. I've got a line in the sand sitting at $16.99. RT is below 1. I'm done. That's a lot. Oh, did I just close the software? Holy smokes, I think I just did. Hi, I'm tired. My voice is tired today. My voice is definitely tired today. On what time frame do you put the 20-day EMA? I'm looking at a 3-month graph. All of my graphs on a 3-month graph. Why? Because I like having earnings picture in the graph. All right, that's what happens every 3 months. So I always, all my graphs are 3 months graphs. Is the 20-day in VV, how do you find a 20-day exponential moving average? What you have to do is on the graph, right-click, go to the price box on the right side of the graph, right-click, and that's where you can add a moving average, whether you want simple, exponential, or weighted. That's where you put it. All right? You're a lifesaver. Thank you, my friend. No, listen, it's all about you folks. I love the questions that we got today. If Apple is Glenn's favorite stock, then what is Joey's favorite stock? Joey's favorite stock is HIL. That's Joey's favorite stock. Can you give example of value stocks you like, please? Guess what, KH? I did a video on it. I gave out 4 value stocks most recently on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. I've given you 4. I'm probably going to do another video on them soon, but I've given you 4 in the YouTube channel. Is the DEW up or down? Right now it's down. We have a hot stock panel. Man, that's not until a few weeks from now. I'm going to talk about the hot stock panel now.
So who's going to be on there?
Me, Todd, and oh yeah. On our next hot stock panel, we got me, Todd, and Stan Heller from Canada. So we're gonna, in our next hot stock panel, we're gonna have some Canadian stocks on our hot stock panel. How cool is that? How cool is that, folks? A lot of you have been wanting that, but we're gonna do that. What type of investing do you do? I am more of what I call a progressive. I'm prudently aggressive as an investor. So I'm willing to give stocks a little more room, but the stocks that I like to get in are aggressive, but not super aggressive. So I'm prudently aggressive. And it's tough to do sometimes because you got to make a decision on what you want to do. All right, what day is the hot stock panel? It's June 2nd. It's June 2nd.
You gotta be
You got to be a subscriber to the new channel in order to see it. Once again, folks, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel by hitting the subscribe button if it's red, or you need to subscribe to our new streaming channel where Trending Thursday will be going. At the top of the page, you'll see it. What is it? Pinned. Click on it. Subscribe to that channel. All right. I need all of you in VV Nation to subscribe to the stream channel. We got to grow it. Thanks to you growing this channel, we now needed to have a second channel, and you guys click on that channel and let me know that you subscribe before you leave. If you subscribe to the stream channel, click on it and let me know. How many likes did we get today? 91. That's 106. That's fine. All right, folks, thank you so much. I'm a bottom fishing conservative like Glenn. So, you know, when it comes time for bottom fishing here on the YouTube channel or on our stream channel when I do Trending Thursday, I'll get you guys into bottom fishing when the time is right. I will get you into bottom fishing when the time is right. Glenn, Will are trying to get VectorVest to include SPBTC. No, oh yeah, those ETFs. Did you? I don't know. Joey and I put it in, and I'm just waiting for them to come in. I knew it was going to take forever, but I put them out there. I'll check on them. Maybe I'll have some answers for you next week. I'll check on them. I already told them that. Yeah, that we're going to be on the new channel next week. All right, folks, I got to go. I got no more voice left. Until the next time, folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha for all my peeps in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, namaste, have a great day. Until next time, folks, see ya.